but I got through it. I was able to, like I said, graduate, and then right after that, pass the FE. So that was a big moment for me. It was sort of a prove it moment, getting that FE passed, because I know a lot of people don't really like the idea of going that extra mile and getting things done that aren't necessarily required. But um, yeah, so after that, I took a little break, sort of. I mean, it was a long journey. It was especially really difficult, like I said, the last semester, I hate the idea of failing or stopping halfway through something. And that's just how I've always been. So I guess it's sort of just in my blood to, if I start something, I want to finish it. And a quote that's always sort of rung true with me is, failure isn't, I can't get this exactly right, but failing isn't not getting it the first time. You don't truly fail until you give up. So,
Strictly speaking, designed for folks who have some experience, right? You overcame that challenge by immersing yourself into codes and standards. So you mentioned you work for a utility. Typically in utilities, they don't work with NEC as much as they do with some of the other standards, right? Hi, Chris.
hey, how's it going?
Good. Congratulations on passing your FE electrical and computer as well as the P power exam back to back in a relatively short period of time.
Yes, thank you, thank you. It was easy using your course.
Thanks, Chris. Let's go back to when it all started. If you can give me a little bit of an overview of when you graduated, what motivated you to take the FE exam, and then why did you go into P power right away?
Yeah, so where I work now, I was working here before I graduated as just sort of like an intern, and both the higher ups above me were saying to ideally get the FE done as quick as possible while you're still in school, ideally, but if not, fresh out of school. So thankfully, I had them to sort of guide me. But so yeah, I started using your course my last semester of school. I graduated in May of 2023. Yeah, 2023. So it's been recent, and I passed the PE and the FE in July of, so 2 months after that. Um, but my whole last semester, I was using your course in conjunction with just learning in school as well. Not really learning, but in sort of that mindset of still actively learning, which helped a lot. And it was tough. I had to give up a couple things like family time, working out, but I got through it. I was able to, like I said, graduate, and then right after that, pass the FE. So that was a big moment for me. It was sort of a prove it moment, getting that FE passed, because I know a lot of people don't really like the idea of going that extra mile and getting things done that aren't necessarily required. But um, so after that, I took a little break, sort of. I mean, it was a long journey. It was especially really difficult, like I said, the last semester, trying to cram work, studying, and school all together in. So I took a couple months break just to sort of refresh my mind. I still stayed active with what I was doing in work regularly, which is power related because I work with a utility company. So that was helpful too. And then when I came back around, uh, I signed back up for your course in January. And after that, it was just, I took it the same approach. I used the on demand course one time through on my own pace because I typically like to work a little slower. Um, and then I went 2 rounds. My second round was with your accelerated course over the summer. And that one was a little bit easier for me, just because, I mean, I was able to really get everything I needed done on the weekends, and then on the weekdays, I could spend time before work, during lunch, and after work, doing practice questions and stuff like that, really testing my knowledge. And then, yeah, besides that, it was just like it was sort of the only thing that I had to really figure out was I like to work out now. So working out, going to and doing your course and working was a little much, but uh, you have to just realize that it's going to be temporary. And now that I'm on the other end of the storm, um, it's a really good feeling. Like this morning when I got my results, it was I feel like I have so much. I'm probably gonna feel like I have so much time in the day now to just do whatever I want.
Yeah, that's amazing. And Chris, you're right. Going back to the earlier comment you made regarding taking FE electrical fresh out of school, a lot of people, don't think that it's important, especially when something is optional and they've been studying for 4 years and taking all of these exams and assignments and quizzes and midterms and tests and whatnot. They don't have gas in tank to basically
Yeah,
go for one more exam, right? It's
yeah,
almost like offering them to be tortured. But
yeah,
that is the best time to take the exam because your FE preparation was like compressed within what, 2 months, right?
yeah. It
And you
was
got it,
super quick. Yeah,
yeah, it was fairly quick, and you were able to leverage the fact that you had been in school. Then kudos to you, first of all, for putting the trigger on FE, and you had some mentorship, some guidance, right? Your seniors had advised you, and once you pass the FE, you didn't stop. You're like, okay, let me carry the momentum forward. I know we had a couple of email exchanges, if I remember correctly, and then you dived into the P power. You gave yourself, sufficient amount of runway. You went through the entire on-demand course, contains 150 lectures and quizzes and mini exams and everything, practice exams. So you made sure that you went through that on your own, and then you joined the summer accelerator. And if I'm not mistaken, you were there in every single class, asking good quality questions, sending in questions, clarifications, even before the classes. So I had no doubt that you were going to get this done in the first attempt, like all of my students who go through the program and put in the time and effort. One of the things I'm going to ask you to share your advice and strategy and tips, because you've recently gone through this, is what did you tell yourself, or how are you motivating yourself um, to keep going, right? Why didn't you stop? Why didn't you become complacent? And again, I understand everybody is different, right? We have different demands on our time. We are in different phases of our life and whatnot. But what helped you to stay on track? Was there any routine, any schedule, any type of advice that you'd like to give to others?
yeah. So for me, I know you typically say to schedule the exams in advance, and a lot of people say that's the strategy to go. But I've always been a person to just in my mind, I'm very much a perfectionist, and uh, I I hate the idea of failing or stopping halfway through something. And that's just how I've always been. So I guess it's sort of just in my blood to, if I start something, I want to finish it. And a quote that's always sort of rung true with me is, failure isn't, I can't get this exactly right, but failing isn't not getting it the first time. You don't truly fail until you give up. So
100% agree. That's what I tell my students as well. Yeah.
yeah, so if it takes you, I know it would be very detrimental to your confidence and all that to see that you failed the first time or the first two times, but as long as you don't give up, the knowledge you're gaining through this whole experience is going to be head and shoulders above everyone else. So, um, yeah, my main thing was just keep going, stay strong, don't waste. I mean, don't waste the 2 or 3 months prior to this that you've spent already. I mean, it's already been this long, so if you give up now, you're gonna have to restart, and it's just a waste of time. So
Yeah. And another interesting thing that I noticed during your preparation, Chris, is that you did not look at the fact that the PE exam is, strictly speaking, designed for folks who have some experience, right? You overcame that challenge by immersing yourself into codes and standards. So you mentioned you work for a utility. Typically in utilities, they don't work with NEC as much as they do with some of the other standards, right? But you took it upon yourself to take a deep dive. You basically dived in with both feet, right, into a lot of concepts that you had no exposure to, and made sort of a mission to actually learn them. And I can guarantee you that at the moment, you are probably far more up to speed with a lot of those topics that you learned for the very first time as compared to even some of the seasoned folks. So, how did you motivate yourself to sort of take on that challenge and told yourself that, you know what, I don't care if I don't have experience, assume knowledge, or field expertise. I'm going to learn it through.
Yeah. So I don't even know where to start.
Start with NEC, for example. A lot of college grads have that question that, Wasim, I'm a recent graduate. I haven't worked on design projects with NEC. So, how effective was the program in helping you through NEC?
So I'm going to start off with this by saying, and I know you say it a lot throughout your lectures, throughout the whole course. If you take the live programs, you have to take this whole course not as a, I guess, a preparation course, but like an opportunity for you to learn and actually enjoy um, the whole learning process. Because if you do, it becomes a lot easier, and you don't really worry about your experience that you've already had, but just take it as an opportunity. You might say, "Oh, I already learned this, so I don't need to go over it." Grounding. What could be so hard about grounding? It is what it is. But if you go into each session with that open mind to learn new things and be interested in actually what you're learning, it makes it way easier on you. And for me, it was with the NEC. You're right. I didn't have a lot of experience with it, but reading the requirements and stuff like that, the codes, helps you a lot with other areas of your work. You understand how, let's just say, running 2 runs of conductor doubles your ampacity. It's like you can make that small connection working, just like doing your brain dead design, just designing. Um, but when you start reading through the code, a lot of stuff clicks, and you realize it's an intricate web of like why things are the way they are in terms of design work. And then, yeah, besides that, uh, you almost have to have a, a mindset going into it of just, like I said, being open to learn and just doing whatever it takes to get these concepts down because they'll help you in the long run.
For sure. And it was great having you in the program, Chris. You were a very engaged and dedicated and focused student. And you were clearly putting in the time and effort, and I could tell as an instructor on my end that you were enjoying the journey. Sometimes students send me questions or ask questions on the community, right? Screenshot of one lecture problem. What did you do here, Rasim? I am not able to figure out this step. Your emails were very well thought through. You're like, it was like a story, right? So I'm working through this, I get this far, and this is what I've tried. My question is, can it be approached like this? So it was a pleasure reading your emails and answering your very focused, laser focused questions. And sometimes it would basically help me understand, okay, maybe I assume that the students know about this, and then gave me an idea that I probably need to go a little bit deeper in this concept and help the students understand a little bit more. One last thing that I'm going to ask you before I let you go is the live training program. Why would you recommend somebody who's preparing, especially for the P Power exam, to make use of the live training program?
With the live trading program, you can almost be selfish and really figure out firsthand where your inconsistencies and uh, just misunderstandings are. Um, so it's a lot better than going back and forth on an email trying to get to the root problem of where you're misunderstanding something. Um, so for me, especially with the accelerated program, how we were able to send in our questions every week and you discuss them. And if we had any further questions, we can ask them on the spot. That was a big thing for me. And with the recorded live sessions that we watched, that were pre-recorded, like I said, um, I feel like they were just a little bit more fine-tuned than on demand. The on demand was really good to just lay the base, but after that, it was really good to hear from other people where they were uh, getting caught up on, because you might be like, oh, I didn't even think that I'd be caught up on that. But and it's also just good to see other people's modes of thinking. Like in the beginning, both with the PE and the FE, I didn't have a great sense of necessarily problem solving if I didn't even know where to start. But by the end of it, I felt really confident in my ability to find solutions within the content that I was given. So when it was time for the PE, when I took it, the questions were almost, I was thinking to myself in the moment, these are really challenging questions, but they're honestly like fun to figure out because they're not just, oh, you're given XYZ, plug this in and give me the answer. It's like they give you shades of gray that you have to read into, like, okay, what are they really trying to get you to solve here? So I honestly really found that to be fun. So
Yeah, that's great. And that tells me about your preparation level. If you're finding the PE exam fun, that tells me a lot about your preparation. So, congratulations, Chris. It's well earned. And thanks a lot for your time. And thanks a lot for referring others within your network. And you've actually referred some of your senior colleagues to my program. And you're a great example. I think that probably has motivated a lot of people within your circle of other professionals that look at this young graduate within 1 year. He came, he saw, he conquered. Right.
yeah, it feels good to possibly be people's go-to guy for that kind of stuff.
Awesome, appreciate it. Thank you, Chris. Best of luck with future endeavors.
Thank you.
If you're new to this channel, please consider subscribing. On a weekly basis, I'm creating content for FE electrical and PE power exam preparation. I also discuss topics related to electrical engineering with a focus on power systems engineering. If you'd like to learn more about my FE electrical and PE power exam preparation programs, please visit my website, StudyForFE.com.